Welcome to the MessInShow podcast. I am the host that loves to keep it gross, Messy Gravis. And this is my solo show where I just talk about whatever I want to talk about, like whatever is on my mind, whatever shows I've done, shows I've lined up, people I've met, stories I've told, stories I've heard, crazy shit like that. Like I like to talk about stuff. It's like therapy for me. I get it off my mind, and like I get it out, get it off my chest, my big hefty fucking chest. But again, welcome to the MessInShow. This is episode 2 that I'm releasing on Sundays at 7. I figured Sundays at 7 is perfect because it's like that was the day that Married with Children came out. The time I remember sitting down with the family, mom and everybody watching the family or Married with Children, That was entertaining. I love that show. Like they say it's so male misogynistic now, but man, that's what it was, man. That's what was funny at the time. The more edgy time and edgy stuff, that's what people liked. That's what like the Jerry Springer show at the time, which started the Attitude Era. Honestly, I think you have a lot of people say ECW, but if it wasn't for Jerry Springer, there would be no Paul Heyman in ECW. That's just me. And another thing, too, I like the Kokomo Press out there where his little Paul Heyman joke. And I had to be like, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. I want t-shirts of that, saying I'm the Paul Heyman guy and have Kokomo Press, the lime on the back of it. But, yeah, that was funny. I played a show last night, which was kind of cool. We played Punk at the Pub. I did a lot of screaming in Master Hunter. That's my band that with my brother, and it was cool. Like we're in the back behind the stage because they have a little back door for the drums, and then right behind you, it's outside under a canopy, and then right behind you, where you're outside, because in front of you is the door where the drums are at, where the stage is, and then behind you there's like a double glass door behind you where it leads to the bowling alley, where you go bowling all the time, which I love. Market Square Lanes, shout out Casey. Out there, he runs that place good. I love that place. I love going bowling out there. And we're setting up the drums, me and Zach. All of a sudden, this group of people come out, and it was this darker guy, with a bunch of, mixed kids, and they're just yelling. I mean, you can tell they kind of were told to leave, I can tell. And it's a big, tall motherfucker with a man bun dreadlock. And he's sitting there where, all of a sudden, he come out beside us, and he's talking shit. As soon as he come out, he's like, $250, motherfucker. That's the shit you got, and it's $250 fucking dollars, man. That's all, man, what the, he's just doing all that shit, just, causing a scene. And it was like a woman involved, a bigger, heavy set woman. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You know what I mean? And I was like, God damn. And I remember sitting there, and I was like, Jesus Christ, like, no security or no nothing, like just, I thought it was going to be a domestic thing. I thought it calmed down for a second. All of a sudden, this little Tyreek Hill looking dude, his little dreadlocks came out, and he was coming up swollen. He was walking like this with his teeth fucking grit, and he was like, who's saying shit? Who's saying shit? Who's saying shit, motherfucker? Who's saying shit? And I was like, oh, dude. And he like literally, and he kind of like cold cocked the tall dude. Kind of like, knocked him on his chin, kind of like scare him and shit, And I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, World Star. I'm going to get my cell phone out, but my cell phone lately has been acting stupid. Like, it won't, like, the Google Drive and everything is not communicating in storage or whatever, it's in store. As soon as I was like, damn, I'm saving for Master Hunter footage, which I didn't get because, I was just in the zone, I'm pretty confident. I think I sounded pretty good last night. If you saw me last night, I screamed my fucking head off last night. It was fun. On Friday night, April 26th, Punk at the Pub, North End Pub. Shout out Casey. That place was awesome, man. It was hopping last night. It was crazy. People were fighting in the parking lot and shit, And we're seeing Zach, I'm going World Star. I'm getting my cell phone out and shit, and I'm getting ready to record it. And like, fuck, I put it up, and because they stopped. They kind of like, the family and the kids kind of dispersed and went in the cars, and they started taking off. All of a sudden, I think nothing of it. I'm laughing, and the old guy came out, and he's like, are they gone? I'm like, well, they're not here anymore. I don't see him, and all of a sudden Zach goes, "No, they're over there." And we look, down in the parking lot towards the Carahan Hall, and all of a sudden you see the tall man bun and Tyreek Hill just going at it with this other bigger guy. He was in the middle, like he was taking most of the blows because you can tell he was like a friend of both of them, trying not to get them to fight, and he's just getting hit on both sides. The woman, the man bun guy, he took the bigger lady, he like kind of like pushed her down, and everyone just stopped for a second, and they all just stared, and you tell me they all got up. The guy was bleeding from the mouth, and they kind of and the other guy just walked away with the man bun. He just walked away, and they got in their car and they left. I was like, okay, this happened all within 10 minutes, and we were still trying to set up drums and shit. And I'm like, God damn, it's hopping. And like, as soon as they get done playing, we're loading up for Master Hunter, loading up the drums. All of a sudden, this Mustang and another car in the parking lot. On the other side of the parking lot, they were trying to drift, but, apparently they had all-wheel drive. They couldn't figure out how to drift in their car, which is hilarious. And they almost like hit each other a couple of times, which I was hoping. I was like, come on, hit each other, hit each other, hit each other. But yeah, it's like, it was a weird punk. It was a weird punk rock night, man. That's a real punk rock night in Lafayette. That's how you do shit. You see fist fighting and fucking people drifting. So when I go on Shep's show, coming up, Shep, when I come to your show, I'll be like, that's a real punk rock. And that, what's his name? Pat and the Pissers. That is a good band. Those guys fucking rock. I want to book some shows with them and Dwarf. I think they're a very good combination band together. I think they would, merge well, very good. And speaking of music, have you seen the Sublime kid, Brad's son, Jacob, I think his name is, and Jacob, and hold on, let me get something for Jacob. That's for Jacob. Oh. Yeah, I know you heard that. That was my burp. Kind of burped and held in smoke at the same time. Yeah. That was for you, Jacob. But yeah, that's he's the new lead singer for Sublime now, which I didn't know that Brad's family, the Noel family, like owned the name Sublime, because every time they toured as Sublime with Rome. That they could just come out with, we're Sublime. This is the new Sublime. Like AC/DC. They couldn't be like AC with Brian Henderson or Brian Johnson, whatever his name. Yeah, Brian Johnson. They had to go by AC/DC. Well, I didn't know that Brad's family owned Sublime. So that was kind of cool that they were like, all right, they kind of groomed him for the position. They didn't groom him to molest him. They groomed him to be a lead singer in a cool reggae band. The original ska, I would say, one of my original ska bands. Besides Operation Ivy. Operation Ivy is the best ska band. But I would put Sublime up there, up there with it. And, that's a good cream of the crop. Well, I don't know. The guys don't listen that much to ska. That's why I listen to everything, man. Like, I remember listening to Maddie on that where he was talking about he's a music snob. I'm kind of music snob, but I'm a metalhead, but I listen to everything. Like I'll jam some Fleetwood Mac, I'll jam some Cannibal Corpse, and then throw in some Jelly Roll. Why not? Listen to some Audio Slave, and then jam out to fucking B-52s. Like last night, these Strangers, they have a song with no vocals, which I want to try to do vocals because it sounded like an underwater 60s swinging sound, like a B-52s a little bit. And I was back behind the stage before that fight that happened, and I was going, electric oyster, and I was like, I have no idea what that means, but it's like, hey, good find the guns down me, electric oyster. Just like weird B-52 lyrics. So I hope Tony, the bass player for these Strangers, that's my way in. I don't think I'm gonna show up to practice and be like, "Hey, you mind if I do any B-52 lyrics over this shit?" Like what? Yeah, man, I'm gonna sing it just like the B-52s. Like the whole band. No, just that one guy. Woo! I'll do both parts. And but anyway, back to Sublime. They just did the Coachella. Talk about pressure, man. Pressure. I wonder if they did any like small venue shows though, like before he rocked out Coachella. Like I wonder if they're like, let's run through Santeria at some little shitty bar in Idaho. Somewhere that no one knows, and like, oh, that's not Brad's son. You see that good Sublime cover band, Yeah, they did a pretty good Santeria, But God, man, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, I don't know. Did he even want it? Did he want to be the lead singer of Sublime? Because imagine that, like your mom like pushing you to be like a prince. Like you're basically woke up. Your whole life is to be your dad's. To take over the king. So no matter what, you're going to be the prince and shit. And he's yelling at you and be like, "Come on, get up. You gotta smoke pot. You gotta sing about reggae songs about putting fucking Sancho's ass up in your asshole," some shit like that. Whatever the fuck. But I was, yeah, man, it's the pressure. I watched it and he was good. I mean, he sang pretty good, but it sounded like on some parts, I don't know. It sounded like he had Tourette's on some parts. And that's what I was making fun of it last night. Not really making fun of it because it'd be like, "I want you to be, oh, you don't want to be good." Oh, I was like, what the fuck? But he's like trying to like growl and stuff in the Coachella. Like, go watch it on YouTube. Like, it's kind of like he can't control it sometimes, or he just wants to be different. He wants to change it up. I don't want to sound like my dad. I don't want to sound like my junkie dad. But if you go watch old videos of Brad singing, it's not really that good either. He kind of fucked it up. Because I remember when Dwarf, when we did, bring it back to my band, of course, one of my bands, Master Hunter Dwarf. That's all I talk about, baby, because we're taking over. Outhouse is better than all the shit that's out there today. Just let you know. We do comedy, movies, music, hell, porn. We're going into it. We ain't gonna hire somebody, but I ain't gonna do it. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting, and just him, he's killing it, and like, and what's her that No Doubt, they formed back up at Coachella as well too, which that'd be cool. You go watch a Sublime and No Doubt concert coming up, or tour coming through. I would take a Van, you're coming with me, man. I know you don't like Sublime, but we're gonna eat mushrooms and we're gonna watch fucking Santeria, bro. And you're gonna know every word, and he's gonna sing every word, and it's gonna be funny, and he's gonna love it. He's gonna have an out of body experience on his little body, and then I'm gonna throw him and break his ribs again. Oh, what's up? But no, yeah, man, yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't, but man, he did good though. I would love to watch it though. I'm gonna have to get some Sublime shit when they come through, and I wonder if he's doing heroin to like his old man, to be, if he wants, because his dad said if you want to be famous and you want to be a star, you got to do heroin. And, you live by your dad. But now it's fucking, you can have some really good fucking weed now that's fucking almost like heroin nowadays, shit. And speaking of, I want to talk of marijuana. This one time we were hanging out at Broad Ripple at the not the Vogue. Where was it? Oh, okay, I can't remember. It was right by the Reservoir, so it had to be by Crackers. I think it was at Crackers that night, which is by the Vogue. But we were in the Vogue. I think we were at the Crackers, and all of a sudden we get outside, and there's a bunch of people going crazy, like cops and shit like that, and they said, "Oh, someone fell in the reservoir. Someone fell in the reservoir." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, people go, they jump in that shit." I always wondered, how drunk people would get and jump in there, shit like that. And I remember they were talking about it. And then the next day, I heard on the news, they go, Indianapolis Colts punter Pat McAfee arrested DUI for swimming in the reservoir. And I was like, oh, shit, that's what happened that night? Because I remember people were screaming about some drunk dude fell in or wanted to swim. That was everybody was saying. And I was like, oh, shit, that's our punter? You know, I was like, what the fuck? Go Colts, man. That's how we do it. Go blue. Go hard or go home, baby. And I was like, I just remember leaving that night, and I was like, dude, how cool is the Indianapolis punter that he gets arrested for swimming in the reservoir at Indy? I don't know why that seemed cool to me, you know. And then he was on the Bob and Tom show. He's doing all that. Now he's fucking murdering on WWE. Like, I think he made Michael Cole's career, like, he rejuvenated him, you know. And he's doing that Mr. Perfect pencil. Yeah. Yeah, he's doing that shit with the pencil. Oh, fuck it. I love it. I was like, ah, oh, damn it, Pat. And he was on the draft last week. Or, yeah, yesterday or Friday. And he did a funny story. He goes, he was dressing the Tennessee Titans. And he was like, yeah, the Tennessee Titans. You may not know who I am, because for so many years I have punted for the Indianapolis Colts. So I cannot speak on the rivalry between the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts. Therefore, we never punted ever when we played the Titans, so you guys never know who I am. And I was like, God damn it, man. Pat McAfee, he's ride or die, man. I love Pat McAfee. And he gets, you know, like AJ Hawk. I love when him and AJ Hawk get into it. Like, that's a good part of their podcast, or not podcast, their radio show, which they got sponsored by Bud Light before Shane Gillis did. I remember that, because they were trying to bring it back, you know, drinking Bud Light. Yeah, which I like Bud Light, you know, some good shit, some good beer and shit, you know. And he's about almost as cool as them new masks that Slipknot debuted last weekend, which was kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, Slipknot just debuted their new drummer, which I cannot pronounce his name right now, but I'm going to try to show a picture of him. And he used to be the drummer for Sepultura. He's the one that replaced Igor, I guess, you know, and he's a good drummer. I never heard of him until my drummer for Master Hunter mentioned him. He goes, yeah, dude, Jesse, you got to watch this dude. Like, he hits the living fuck out of them drums. I mean, he beats the shit out of him. He treats him like his ex-girlfriends. You beat the shit out of him. You're like, oh, damn, Zach. You know? And I watched him. I can't remember what videos I was watching. Oh, it was the Roots, Bloody Roots, with him doing, you know, like behind the camera, behind his feet and stuff. You know, and he added. I like he added because I watched Joey Jordan's version too as well, the Roadrunner United, which is an underrated DVD. You need to go get the live Roadrunner United with all the tracks on it. Man, you can just sit there and watch that over and over again. The Dagger, you know, there's so many good songs on there. You know, Trivium with Machine Head, you know, with Rob Flynn from Machine Head, which ironically that song sounds like a Machine Head song, one of their Trivium songs. And he, you know, Rob Flynn comes out and does, you know, the vocals, like weird. But yeah, the Slipknot, they performed in California a weekend before their new show, or before the weekend. I think they're playing tonight, Saturday, and they did a cool thing where they sold tickets for $9. It was like 850 people, so I guarantee they were like less than 900 people. You know, it has to be no more than 900 people. You know, shit like that. Tickets sold out like really fast, of course. You know, and I listened to it and I was like, damn, I can kind of see why they got rid of Jay Weinberg, because it seemed more in the moment, if that makes sense. Like, as a drummer, I can hear the tempo and the feelings and everything, you know, the structure of it. Like, People Equal Shit just had more groove, you know, the like, it was more brutal. And I dug it, and I was like, no wonder fucking, you know, Slipknot. And they kind of brought it back too, because it was like kind of the old school jumpsuits with the orange jumpsuits. Where I'm gonna tell you a story. Ozfest '99, I went. It was my second Ozfest, because I went to Ozfest '98 to see Cold Chamber and Limp Bizkit, because that was my first Limp Bizkit show. Was fucking Ozfest, which I loved it because Fred Durst started shit with Osborne's wife. Sharon Osbourne. I was like Cheryl Osbourne. He started shit with Sharon, and they came out of a giant toilet. Anyway, that's a whole nother thing to talk about, which I love Limp Bizkit, which I got my Limp Bizkit tickets with Corey Feldman again. So we go right. It's gonna be my third Corey Feldman show. Yeah, my third Corey Feldman show, and my fifth Limp Bizkit show. Ooh, I wonder if Corey Feldman will play a Limp Bizkit show. No. But anyways, Ozfest 99. I already know how to sneak in my pot by then, because you put your boxers on, and then you take a bunch of rolled up joints in your Marlboro Light pack, as I had, and you put it under your balls, and you put a pair of whiteys over your boxers, so they can pat you down, pat your balls. They don't, you just feel balls, and that's how I always got it in. And I remember as soon as we got in there, I got it out, rip off the underwear, throw them in the mosh pit, shit like that. And I remember we were on main stage, and they were playing Static X videos. Because that was the first time I heard of Static X, too. It was 99. Because I was like, who the hell is the guy with the Slim Jim hair? Because, he looked like that. Snap into it. He's like, that's what they always thought of, because it was after Macho Man. They had the guy with the weird hair. I was like, that was Wayne Static. And, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. And then we were on main stage, and I remember smoking, and I saw my buddy Aaron Lawrence, rest in peace. And I remember him, talking to some shit, like, hey, man, we're getting ready to watch this band. Who was it on main stage? I can't remember who it was. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't even, see, I didn't even remember who it was. And I remember, hey, man, we gonna jam sometime, dude? Because he knows I play drums. And I was like, yeah, sure, man. He goes, you play double kick? You gotta play double kick, man. If you don't play double kick, you're not in my band. And I just remember laughing. I was like, yes, Al, I play double kick. Like, I can do whatever speed you want. Because I remember even Ozfest, they had like the Tama pedals. And you can test how fast you are, your BPMs and shit. Like they had a little boost set up, which I love. 99. 99 was the best year, I thought. Because they had like a Harley Davidson like set up with strippers with lap dance. They give you a lap dance while you sit on a Harley. I go, that's fucking cool as shit. And it was hot, and it was like they had a lot of mist tints, like it was cool. Ozfest 99 was way better than it was what's that, Woodstock 99. Which I can't remember what was first. Was Woodstock 99 first and then Ozfest 99? Because they hooked it up Ozfest 99. Maybe that's what it was. Because I remember I was like, they never really did that again after Ozfest 99. Like, not as many mist tints as they usually had, which I loved it. And I remember when we got to, like, man, let's go second stage. See how many second stages we have. And we go to second stage. And all of a sudden, a band called Head PE was about 2 or 3 songs left. So I got my joint, I'm walking in, I'm running in, I'm hearing everybody dies. I'm like, hell yeah, it smells like weed. This is Ozfest, dude. Fucking yeah, I remember this. It's so good. Second stage is fucking awesome. And I remember, because the first time I didn't see anybody on the second stage, I didn't know, because we got there late and shit. The first time, 98, but 99 was so much better. And then we get to second stage, and Head PE's playing. And we're like, okay, let's just stay here to see what band's coming up next. My buddy Jared Ramos was with me, actually. Yeah, because he's the one that he can recall this for me. And we're like, well, let's just stay here because you got the joints with you. We can find back. Because we always trade. It was like commissary. If you had weed, you can trade it for other stuff, food, drugs, whatever you need, anything you need. And alcohol, water, even like I've traded joints for water, in a mosh pit. Like, hey, here, give me that bottle of water. Give me the joint. I'll take a drink, and then switch back and forth. Drink water, give it back. I ain't gonna take the water, but I think I'll pour it, in my mouth. Like, see, like, oh yeah, I'll Photoshop that. I'm just drinking water in a metal show, man. I'm not sucking dick, okay? And I remember. We're sitting there waiting, we're smoking, and all of a sudden this giant S, like a banner, just flopped down. Just a tribal S. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. I was like, what kind of band what band's this? And all of a sudden, up behind the drums, because it was like two S's, almost like Nazi shit, you know. And all of a sudden, this behind the drum set, it slowly unrolled, and it said Slipknot. And I go, huh, it's a clever name for a band. I like that. And then they started setting up drums in the front, because I'm a drummer, and I'm like, what the hell? And they're setting up like bigger toms, you know, but they have the main drum set back there, then they have two in the front. And I thought I was probably decoration, you know, because it kind of looked like post-apocalyptic almost, you know, because even Ozfest that year, it was kind of like ancient Egyptian that year, because every year, I love it, they change the different formats and different view of Ozfest, which I love. And I remember sitting there, and I'm like, oh, that's a clever name for a band, Slipknot, you know. And all of a sudden, a dude with a big nose comes out, you know, with a mask on, like a dominatrix mask, because he had like a zipper, you know, on his mouth. And I'm like, that's weird. It's like a weird dominatrix with a dildo on his nose, because it's obviously a dildo, because he's doing this, you know, and he's like cupping his mouth like his balls, and he's throwing out demo tapes. I remember this like it was yesterday, and he's throwing demo tapes, and it was a band called Dope, because it was an orange tape, you know. And I was like, well, that's fucking weird. And all of a sudden, the Clown came out. I think that was the next, and he had Joey on his shoulders. You know, like he came out and he's like, Joey's doing all this weird shit on top of a clown. And I'm like, okay, you got me. Like, I don't even know. I was expecting some like Ministry, you know, like technical. That's the first thing I thought of. I was waiting for the, you know, like some weird Slipknot, because the whole time I was like, the whole thing I think is sick. The whole thing I think is sick. And I was like, okay, I'm waiting for the, you know, beat drop. And then I shit you not, right when the, dun, 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 dun. Dude, I was like, what the fuck? Like, it literally, like, it blew me away. And I remember as soon as that double kick came in, Corey, the lead singer, came out with the dreadlocks, you know, and I was like, he's like all evil, like just like a digged up corpse. You know, so he looked like a digged up corpse, just dug up, and he was like, brah, da, 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 and the clown and the fucking dildo fucking nose is jamming it. And I'm like, I'm sold, dude. Like, I was a fan since then. I remember looking at my buddy Jared, and I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? You know, like, I'm so glad that we waited. It was like right after FPE. It was perfect timing. And then, because I wanted to see Fear Factory, because they were headlining the second stage, which they played after a while, because we had to went back to main stage after Slipknot, you know, and then went back. And anyway, Slipknot, you know, they debuted their new masks and stuff, you know, with Corey with his new mask and shit, and he went back to the fucking dreadlocks, dude. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I love Slipknot. I don't give a fuck. And now, since my drummer, that was his favorite drummer, was the guy from Sepultura, and now he's the drummer for Slipknot. I'm like, no, now you have to be a maggot. Welcome to the maggot world, maggot. But yeah, and dude, that was my first experience. I've seen Slipknot since then, but till this day, like, God, it gave me chills. Because soon as Joey's fucking double kick, like, my heart like just skipped a beat. And then, like, it was cool how Corey came out too. Like, he didn't come out because there were so many fucking people coming out, you know. I'm just like, God damn. And just right when he came, right, pick up the pace, you know. I'm like, fuck yes. But yeah, man, I'll remember that forever. Yeah, and go see Slipknot, man. And well, I'm going to wrap this up. You know, this has been a MessInShow podcast, so I need you guys to, you know, love each other, love on me, like and subscribe. Don't forget to watch metal music. And if people fall down, pick them up. You know, that's what we say here, the MessInShow podcast. If you're at a metal show, they fall down, goddamn, you pick them up after you check their wallet and make sure they don't have any drugs on them. But I love you guys, and peace out. Have a good day.